This is just a thought, but what if our dreams are a landline to our subconscious, or a portal to another plane of existence, maybe the astral plane, if you will? Or what if our dreams are a gateway to a parallel reality? Maybe that's how we jump timelines, is through our dreams. I have a lot of thoughts and theories about dreams, as have a lot of people throughout history. They're not my thoughts uniquely. There's been a lot of studies and people a lot smarter than me that have researched this kind of stuff, but that's besides the point. A couple of nights ago I decided I was going to start a dream journal, start documenting my dreams to see if I can decipher them and see if I could glean any messages that might help me in this physical reality, and maybe even communicate with my subconscious and possibly anything else that might be in the dream realm. And I decided to pair this with a meditation right before bed, right before I drift into sleep. Um, a, a meditation with multiple intentions, let's say, putting out some thoughts and requests, let's say, to the universe, just to see what I would get back, if anything. So I was gifted last night with a right jaw clenching dream, let's say, literally, and it was one I've had many times before, and it's quite a common dream, one probably maybe even you've had. It's a dream where I lose my teeth. I've had this dream many times over the years, where your teeth have fallen out, and it's quite this one was quite different though. It had a bit of a twist to it, because in all my previous dreams where I've lost my teeth, I've always been, rightfully so, concerned, panicked, like, as the usual reactions to your teeth just randomly falling out. And then when you wake up, you kind of have that relief. You have that relief that, oh, it was just a dream. It's just a dream. But last night I was fully invested in this dream, to the degree where in the dream, when I was losing my teeth, I was aware in the dream that I'd previously dreamed about losing my teeth, and I was so convinced it was real, real life, that I was like, shit, it's actually happened this time. It's like really happened. It's like, I know I've dreamt about this previously, but it's happened for real now. And there was a moment of those initial kind of the alarm systems going off, like the panic, but that was pretty momentary. And it was weird, because once I kind of realised what had happened, there was like an acceptance to it, where I was kind of just accepted the fact that, my teeth had fell out now. And I actually thought in my dream, I had the thought of, oh well, I'll just have to get dentures now. It is what it is. I'm not a young buck anymore, and like the technology these days, the kind of things you can get, the augmentations, let's say. I just thought, well, it sucks, but I'm just gonna have to get dentures. But yeah, it was because at first it was my bottom four teeth, and it was like these ones, which fell out. The front bottom four fell out, and in my dream, I was trying to like glue them back in, which was kind of partially successful. So I don't know what kind of glue I used, but in my dream, basically, they came out in like a full row, not separately. So the four of them come out in a row, and then I was trying to glue them back in, and it kind of worked a little bit, but then the one kind of broke away, and then I was trying to like glue them back in, which kind of worked, but then I remember seeing the tooth next to it. That one then fell out, and that one was like really like rotten, and it was really big as well, like much bigger than like an average sized tooth. And then like I found another one that fell out, which was like another massive rotten tooth, and that's when I kind of realised it was kind of like fighting a losing battle, that I was gonna be able to salvage this situation. But I was fully convinced that it was real life, and I dreamt about this before, and now it's become a reality. But that weird acceptance that kind of washed over me, of like, oh well, I've been here before. It's not the end of the world. I'll just get dentures. It's not that big of a deal. It sucks, but it is what it is. So when it comes to deciphering this message, I didn't want to just do what I usually do and what most people do, is just kind of run straight to the internet and Google it or put it into YouTube, like, what does this mean when blah 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 blah. I wanted to actually use my intuition and see if I could kind of see how this dream, like what it was trying to tell me, pertained to me specifically in my life now. And I think, for me personally, I think it kind of represented the acceptance of letting things go that have probably already died, but are still kind of a part of my life. Which was a good analogy for the teeth, because the teeth were rotted. And they needed to come out. On objectively, the teeth needed to be removed. They were rotten. So I think it was a good analogy of things in my life that were rotten or had died, were no longer serving me. I think it was an acceptance of letting those things go gracefully, not with panic, but with acceptance. Accepting that those teeth needed to be lost, shed, let go of, removed, with grace and acceptance. And I also think the size of the teeth had some significance, because I think it was my subconscious way of saying, these things that you need to let go of, that are rotted and dying or dead, are taking up a space in your life that is oversized, disproportionate, taking up more space than they naturally should, because the size of the teeth in the dream, they were like unnaturally big, and they were like just rotted, like they were taking up more room than a tooth naturally would. So I think that was also an aspect of the dream, like a nuance that, the things I need to let go of are holding too much prominence in my life. Maybe they needed to be let go of in order to create space for something new. I asked the universe for more, let's say, but to get more, you need to either expand your capacity to receive more, or you need to make space to receive more. And I think the metaphor of losing my teeth was the universe's way of saying, look, you need to create some space. You need to let go of some things before I can bring anything new into your life. And then I also had the intuition that the universe was also asking me to, or telling me to be grateful for what I already have. Just this morning, woke up and saw the news about the floods in Nepal, which were like pretty devastating, and really brought home like the gratitude for what we already do have, which we can sometimes lose sight of. I think I'm a pretty grateful person on the whole, day to day. I like to practice gratitude quite a lot, but also I do have like a lack mentality with certain things. So what I was trying to do was trying to like expand my capacity to receive without guilt, because there's that subconscious belief that you're not worthy of more, so then like you don't want to ask for more. And I kind of felt like asking for more and then kind of seeing things in the world, it does trigger that guilt, and I suppose like it's normal and natural, and something you just have to sit with. And you can hold both. You can hold gratitude in one hand whilst reaching out with the other hand, ready to receive more, while still being aware and compassionate for people who do have less, or in a more of a dire situation. Everybody's on their own path, so you got to try and refrain from judgment of those things, even though it's hard when you do see things. But maybe that dream meant all of those things. Maybe it meant that I should be grateful for what I've got, and I am. And it was just reminding me of that. But it was also reminding me that, we do have to shed and let go of things, in our lives that are no longer serving us, or, things that are dead but are kind of still a part of our lives. And that can be anything, that can be any realm. You'll know for yourself what that is. What you need to let go of will be unique to you, and could be an old version of yourself. That could be a person or people. It could be a job, or it could be a limiting belief you need to let go of, or a belief system, or even something as big as a religion that you need to let go of. Could be some suppressed emotions that you need to let go of. Some distant thunder there, talking about release and letting go. But yeah, could be anything. You'll know what it is. And if you don't, give it time, meditate on it. It'll come to you. It'll come to you. So yeah, I just wanted to use my intuition to kind of interpret for myself what this dream might mean for me. I haven't meditated on it yet. I just kind of sat with it throughout the day and just let it kind of bubble and stew and marinate in my conscious mind and my conscious awareness. And this is what I've come up with so far. Maybe I will meditate on it and then see if anything else comes up. But yeah, that was my first dream journal entry. Let me know if you've had a similar dream. Let me know if you've had the teeth dream, and or any other dreams you want to share, and what you think they might mean for you. You know, and if you are interested in this kind of stuff, try and refrain initially from going online and Googling it or YouTubing it or using AI if that's what you like to do, and try and just let it sit with your intuition first, and you know, like maybe meditate on it, and then because Google's not going anywhere, AI is not going anywhere, YouTube's not going anywhere. You can do all that. You can do all that afterwards, but check in with yourself first and see what it means or could mean for you, and then afterwards you can kind of corroborate with the interwebs or not. If you just want to trust yourself, if you want to learn to trust yourself, which is what I'm doing, you can just leave it at that. Just write it down, whether it's a physical journal or an app or whatever, you know. Just, that was a weird sounding bird. I think it was a crow. Yeah, just keep a note of it, keep a journal of it. This is my journal. It's going to be an online record. I probably will play around with some apps and see if I can find an app I like and keep a track of it, just for, like, you know, reference day to day. You know, I don't always want to have to refer to my own videos to kind of check my journal / diary. So I will have like a physical record of my dreams, but I thought it'd be a really good place to, you know, document this. And yeah, I'd love to hear about your own dreams and experiences and interpretations, and your own beliefs as well, and theories and thoughts on dreams. You know, what you think they are, and what your theories are, what your beliefs on dreams are. Yeah, it's all very fascinating stuff. I could talk about it forever. But yeah, let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.